God bless America on this somewhat beautiful winter day. And today we're going to be working on the Grand Am. I decided to do another Grand Am it. And what we're going to be working on is the fuel pressure regulator. Symptoms of a bad fuel pressure regulator could be rough idling, rough starting, bad shifting, bad fuel economy, poor performance or acceleration. Your car could even stall out. So let's get into it. First thing we're going to do is open the hood. All right, so the tools we're going to be using for this today is a 22 or 15/16 wrench. I have a T30 Torx bit wrench here, and the part we're going to be replacing I have right here for you. It is fuel regulator, and the part number is right there. I got this one from O'Reilly's, about 70 to 80 bucks. The part we're replacing is right here. So let's go ahead and get into it, guys. First things first, let's get some stuff out of our way. First would be the PCV valve, which is right here. It's a long plastic tubing here that's in our way. We just pop it out, set it to the side. I could just take this off and I'll just put it up here somewhere so you don't lose it. And just set this off to the side. Make sure you don't crack this thing. Don't bend it too much because it is plastic. It's very fragile. The next step is to get these hoses off here. These are also very brittle and very fragile. Mine's are pretty bad, so I'm going to get some new ones here. That'll be another episode, another video. We're just going to go ahead and pull these off very carefully. Like that. Push it to the side. And this one right here, I already pulled it off of there somewhat just to show you. And just pop it off, push it to the side. Now here's where you're going to need that 22 or that 15/16 wrench. Is right here on this bottom bolt, right there. You are going to leave this attached to the fuel rail when you loosen that bolt up down here, because otherwise you're not going to have any leverage and it's just going to be moving around. All right, guys, so righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, and of course it is upside down, so just know which way you're going. You're just going to go ahead and turn it and it'll come loose. Like that. Now you should be able to move it with your hand. Let's see here. Let's see if we can. Yep, there it goes. All right, so now that we got that loosened up, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a full view to see where we're at here. There you are. So we're going to go ahead and get our T30, and we're going to use it on our Torx bit bolts right here and loosen that up. Now, just so you guys are aware, before you even do any of this stuff, I just want to remind you guys, if you're just replacing it and you're still holding pressure, remember to release the pressure first. I did forget to mention that in the video, but the ways to release the pressure is to go to your fuse box, sorry, not fuel box, fuse box, take out the fuel pump fuse or relay and crank the car, and you'll be able to bleed the fuel out that way and release the pressure. Or option B is there is a stem valve right there where I'm pointing with my finger. I'll zoom in on you right there. Take that cap off of that stem valve. Get a screwdriver and a rag and push the stem valve in, and you'll be able to release your pressure that way. All right, so back to taking this off, guys. So I'm using my T30 right now, as you can see, and I'm going to be taking this off the rest of the way. I will have to remind you guys, if you have a manual throttle or cable throttle body like I do, you're going to have to push this down and get it out of the way and hold it so you can loosen that bolt out. You may or may not have to. I know I had to because it was in my way. All right, guys, once you got that hex bolt out of there loosened up, and the other nut down there from the 15/16 wrench I used, see how it's hanging down there? It's loosened up from up here. I'm gonna go ahead and use my magnet to grab this bolt. I don't want to lose it. I have arthritis and carpal tunnel, so I'm not chancing it. All right, guys, so sorry about that. My camera ended up acting weird because the light needed to come on. I guess it got too dark. But I got the bolts out of there, and I got it with the magnet so I didn't lose it. The other nut is down there loose, so all we have to do now is pry this thing off of the fuel rail, which, as you can see, it is connected right there at the fuel rail. I've already loosened this thing up, so it shouldn't be too bad to pry it off. Just be careful when you're prying this off. You don't want to hit your plastic pieces or anything brittle or anything like that. All right, guys, so you can see where it's coming off of the fuel rail right there. It's disconnecting. One thing I will tell you is to put a rag underneath here just in case any excess fuel wants to spill down onto your block. Obviously it'll dry and evaporate, but for some it's important. I put a rag under there earlier when I loosened it up, so I'm not going to put one now, but you know, just for to be not curious, but to be nice, I guess we could put it just to help you guys out. You can put a rag down there. Okay, guys, so as you can see, it's removed from the fuel rail. It's loose, as you can see. So now I'm going to go ahead and try to wiggle it out of the fuel line right here and out of the fuel rail, and then we'll be able to put the other one on. When the other one gets put on, you got to put it on the line first, bolt in that nut to hold it in place, and then you can put it to the fuel rail. Don't try to do it the other way because it's going to be pretty hard to reach down there and have any wiggle room. All right, just to show you guys, it is disconnected from the fuel rail down there, and it is disconnected from the fuel line down there. And once it pops off, just be careful, some fuel is going to fly at you. I'm going to show you what it looks like. There you go. There's your fuel line. There's your fuel rail. And here is our fuel regulator. And yeah, this one was bad. It wasn't holding any fuel pressure after you're shutting it off. Had hard starts, bad acceleration, bad idling, especially in drive. It just shook real bad, and shift points were off. It didn't know when to shift, didn't have any power, had bad fuel gas mileage. So this was the culprit, I'm pretty sure. We're going to go ahead and replace it and put the other one back on. All right, guys, just a little comparison, just because that's what I do with all my parts. There you have it, same exact part. Now don't worry about that nub right there. That nipple is definitely a little different looking, but it is the same nipple. All right, folks, so first things first, we're going to put the fuel line back on the bottom of this first. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it and show you when it's done. All right, guys, it looks like that went back in, the fuel line. So we're going to go ahead and put that nut back on there, tie it back up, and should thread right on there on that bottom thread. Then we can go ahead and secure this into the fuel rail. All right, guys, so as you can see, I threaded it back onto the bottom of the regulator with my hand. It was kind of a tough job to do, but I got in there. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it with the wrench. And before I tighten it with the wrench, I'm gonna put this bolt back in there and get this back on the fuel rail so it's supported, and then we'll tighten it up with the wrench, and it should be back in. All right, you guys, so as you can see, I got the bolt tied back on there, the hex bolt, and it is attached to the fuel rail. So we're gonna go ahead now and get that 15/16 and get this nut down on the base tightened up right here, and then we should be good to go to reinstall our hoses and get everything back in order and start her up. All right, guys, we got the bottom bolt tightened up, the torch bit tightened up, everything's ready to be put back together. We'll put our hoses back on. This one goes to the intake here. The other goes to the top of the fuel regulator. And our PCV valve will go back into our valve cover. And that's it, guys. That's how you replace a fuel pressure regulator on a Pontiac Grand Am GT. This one happens to be the year 2000. I think they're all pretty much the same. However, some years I'm pretty sure don't have this coolant line going from the thermostat. But other than that, that's how you do it. So as always, God bless America. God bless you. Have a wonderful day and happy holidays.